You're blind. You're trying to escape from here, aren't you? I want to see how far you can make it before your head is chopped off.
Hello and welcome to round number 2, week 2 of the Monday Night Indy Fix. This is Matt Houston, joined by Gary Gotso in the booth. How's it going, Gary?
Hey, this is great because this is going to be a fun time for everybody at home. I'm looking forward to it. It's the first time IndyCars are at a track. We're going to get a first-time winner. That's going to be cool. We haven't seen IndyCars here for real for a long time. This track is one groove. It's narrow. It's concrete. You name it. It's not driver-friendly at all. And we're just going to see who can outlast the next guy here. Getting ready to grid up.
Okay, we've got the grid. In P1 is Chris Demerit, followed by P2, our winner last week in the split here, Robert Malexa, followed by Adam Frazier, hey, another friend from over in Lionheart, AJ Musselman, P4, Nick Neben, P5, Trace Shadid, P6. We've got Jeffrey McClintock in P7, Alex Rigone, P8, Dakota DeMade there, P9, Jeffrey Stanton, P10, Guillermo in P11, Jeff Highsong, P12. We got Alan Morera, P13, Oscar Sid, P14, Dylan Moskowitz, P15, Christian Assen, Alex Bates, Matt Hollibaugh. No, Matt, from time to time. I think we raced over in VOR NASCAR over there. Pablo Diaz-Frances, not taking time, Adriano Frapporti, Matthew Mercer, George Montanas, and you mentioned Joe Ritter in the field here, also not taking time. This is going to be a very tricky course. So the Indy cars in the Open Series running over in the concrete jungle of Long Beach, but here tonight in the fixed, we're running the concrete jungle here in Nashville, but not the one they ran a couple months ago.
Not the street course.
But still a concrete jungle nevertheless, Gary.
Yeah, this IndyCar stopped coming here. They were here from 2001 to 2008, and pretty much at the end of its IndyCar's time here, this place was owned by Scott Dixon. Scott Dixon ran off a run of 3 straight here from 2006 to closing the place out. In fact, he even still holds a track record, which is a 23.2, which is 206.214 miles per hour. We did a 23.4 as the pole here, so we're close. I would imagine with a little bit more tweaking, we can probably get there. But we're looking at probably speeds around 205, and that's the case. But still plenty fast for a 1.333 mile oval.
Yeah, I was a little worried there for a moment that our pace car hadn't pulled away, but there it goes. So we're about to head to our green flag. We're going to be doing 85 laps here tonight. Looking at a pit window of about 60 laps. We might have some cars gambling, taking pit stop early like we saw last week. We might have also drivers taking a fuel saving strategy.
AJ Musselman, I want to give him a shout out from the Euro Fixed on Thursday. 65 laps on a single tank there, man. Woo!
And that was when they were doing 50 laps on a stint there, so that's a heck of a run. Chris Kresge was mentioning that he's out there racing in chat, but here we're about to go green. Green flag here at Nashville. Not too far from Music City.
And Demerit wisely decided to jump that one.
Yeah, we want to see everybody cleanly through the field here. Demerit going to lead that first lap with...
Ooh, got really close to the wall on the exit there.
Pablo Diaz-Francis. I think we might have had a slight mistake there on the gridding because I thought he had shown as a no qualifier, but he's right up there in P2.
Yeah, he's after a little redemption after getting basically caught trying to do a little pit strategy, and the yellows caught him from last week. He's holding P2 right now. And that time by purple lap is Demerit, 23.9.
No surprise there. Let's go on board. We've got a gaggle of cars back here trying to sort things out. We'll figure out which one to follow here. Drivers were thinking that this is a very single lane course, but we have seen some low and high in the corners there so far.
And we're side by side back there in about for 20th or so. 3 wide at one point going through 1.
Yeah, on board with Alex Bates back here in about P20 or so, P18. So I think we're going to be heading into unknown territory here as we get up to, say, lap 20, 30, how these cars are going to handle with this tire model and the tires really going off in traffic here.
And keep in mind, also concrete. We don't do a lot of concrete. Getting loose big time off of 4. And that's one of the things we were talking about pre-race with a couple drivers is where we're going to feel like the cars are going to get the most loose problems. And I said 4, you said 4. Our driver expert said 2. We can honestly see his point, but 4 illustrates just a little too much weight jacker. You are using a lot of weight jacker to get around this place. You need to get that car. There's 14 degrees of banking, 9 degrees on the front stretch. To give you a little comparison before I get on with the rest of what I was going to say, Indianapolis is 9 degrees and 14 degrees with Kentucky last week in turns 3 and 4. But you want to get right down on that yellow line. You do not want to get much above it because you're going to push right up into that wall. And he is right down there on that yellow line right there at the apron. And keep in mind, like I said last week, apron equals death here.
Side by side is Dakota DeMade with, looks like Jeffrey McClintock. Yeah.
Yep.
Getting around him on the outside.
Yeah, maybe he might have found a little something that the outside's starting to work.
Yeah, Dakota coming back on the inside, though. Looks like Dakota's going to keep that position. Ooh, I saw a little twitch back there from Morera, it looked like here.
Caution on the racetrack. And it is...
For Porty, maybe? Or let's see.
For Porty, it is for Porty. We have a wobbling wheel, and I think Alex Bates there in the Red Bull car, he's got a little wobble, so something happened.
Ritter
let's take a look at the replay.
Back there, but he's A-okay. Let's get a look back here. Yep. Oh, we've got...
Boom, flashing.
Was there a car that was slow? No? I'm looking at Bates here. Ooh, there was some kind of a net code there. With,
we got some flashing.
A big net code, like, so far off. I think that was for Porty. Really far off of, I don't know who that car on the outside was, but it completely broke his tire and sent both of them into the wall on the front stretch in the tri-oval. 2-car incident here.
Yeah, we look at this stuff because you don't really want to race too often with people that are kind of flashing. And right now I'm checking up for Porty's numbers, and he's got a 200 ping, and that is not good. So unfortunately, it looks like a bit of a lag, and it took out an innocent bystander, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm actually on board with for Porty, and you can see there's literally at least a foot or two, if not more, between those cars there. But we are under caution in live pictures. Anybody taking a pit stop? We are very early in our. We're not even close to a pit window here.
Correct. what we were talking about last week at Kentucky, where it opened up about 25, 24 laps, about the same thing here, 24, 25 laps. I think it's even early for those that are going to try to do a fuel mileage race, that they'll really have to be conserving. I don't think they're going to be able to make it. I think everybody stays out and continues to run on this current set of tires. Remember, you only get 3. That's 1 that you're wearing right now and 2 in the pit. So use them wisely.
Yeah, that is a really good point. We talked about it a lot last week, but we had a lot of green flag running. But we do have tire limits here now in the Indy Fix Series. I did see Joe Ritter taking the opportunity for that splash of fuel. We will see how that works out for him. If we get a bunch of more caution, then that could work out for him. But he's going to have no tires.
Right, and it's going to be a two-pronged thing. I like his strategy because it's a strategy I often portray myself. I'll dump in and top off, and I got a few extra ounces, but it might be that few extra ounces I have that helps me stay out longer, that when a caution occurs while I'm out in front of everybody else. That's what I'm really looking for right there, and that he might get that. He might be out there and he knows he has one lap to go to pit. And during that exchange of pit stops, someone just happens to lose it coming out of the pits, which you can do here.
Yep.
And he's going to have himself a lap up on most of the field.
And if he laps the field, sure, they'll get the wave around, but he'll still be coming out back in the lead if the scenario played out perfectly for him.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, he took a no qualifier, according to my information. So there's, that's the gamble. Like, you might as well top up on that fuel there.
Yeah, you got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. And
about to come back to green.
And Zhao is the Race vs. IndyCar Challenge from last year. He's the Race vs. IndyCar Challenge champion.
That's right. The one and only. Green flag here from Nashville Super Speedway. I think I might have called it Motor Speedway earlier, but this is the Super Speedway here in Nashville. Diaz Francis got around Molesca there, and I thought Robert was going to look to make a move there, but...
Now, he took a very wide entrance into 1 on the restart there. I don't know if... he planned that one, or maybe he thought that at the restart the cars are a little bit loose, which these tend to be a lot of times on restart. Take a look at A.J. Musselman taking a look underneath Adam Frazier there, right there. Adam goes really high into turns 3 and 4. Looks like A.J.'s got the position, and also is going to follow him right through is Nick Neben.
Still, Frazier battles back on the high side there.
And you see the cars.
Neben, he just did apron bad, as Julian Altena said in the chat.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say, next time down the front stretch, I was going to say, see that yellow line on the inside between the black and the white there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to stay off that. Clear, clear, clear.
Now
it is so easy when you drive these cars, too, to want to take the car right down there to that yellow line, because that's the absolute fastest way around. And to just not be paying attention, just lose that moment focus, and all of a sudden you drag that wheel down onto the apron, and it's done. You're gone.
On board with Jeffrey Stanton, getting a good view of this battle for about P7 to 11th here.
Yeah, they're all side by side back there.
Yeah, I think this race is, I mean, maybe not at the front of the field, but this is pretty good stuff here mid-pack. They really want to get close to that. It's not quite a yellow line, though, Gary. It's kind of like a rust discoloration.
Yeah. Stay off the brown line.
Yep. But there's several of those in the corner. I know when I was taking my laps, and it almost looked like near the apron that the banking was slightly less to me. I don't know if you got that feeling with it. But that was the feeling I got when I was running around here.
Well, it's not a... there's I think McClintock and who's right next to him? Neben?
Stanton.
Or Stanton. Just about. I think he smacked the wall.
We
or got real close.
With Stanton. But yeah, McClintock. Looks like he's going to get Morera going by him.
Now it looks like the high side's coming in, or that the low side is starting to be a little too loose for him. Got to use your tools to help tighten your car up if that's the case.
Looking back at the battle for the lead here, which isn't a battle at all, but Demerit up to a 1.2 second lead over Diaz Francis, and then another 1.2 seconds to Robert in P3, our winner from last week, and then another 1.2. So it's just the at the front of the field anyway, the aero push and the draft that, or the wash that you get from the car ahead of you is just making huge gas back here. But back in the field, Dakota DeMade making a move on Trace Shadid. Trace comes back on the outside, though. I think he's trying to make a move to get himself out of that pack so he can set sail to the rest of the leaders. The leaders, even though they're evenly spaced out by about a second, 1.2 seconds or so, a second and a quarter, they're kind of starting to pull away a little bit from that second group. I do see that Shadid back here, he is driving about a half a lane higher than, say, Dakota back there in P9. Dakota's kind of hugging that inside line. I mean, he wants to get all the air on the car. And literally, Shadid that time through 1 and 2 was a complete car length up. So they're all exploring the track and finding grip as these tires begin to wear.
And your leader is not that far away from catching the tail end of the field, so he's going to start experiencing the aero push himself, which is something that he has not had to experience really since practice.
And we just missed out on that last week at Kentucky. Our leaders were just about to come up to some lap traffic when the caution came out and reset the field. So we never really had anybody having to deal with lap traffic then.
Just let you know, track temperature 103.
You have any read on the strength of field in this race, Gary? I don't think we talked about that.
Strength of field, yeah. And I got some reports of more blinkers on the track.
Trying to get race control, unexistent race control, to do something about that, but it's not going to happen.
Uh, 4.1K.
That's higher than it was last week, so...
Yeah. So we are definitely in the window now for those that want to make an early pit stop and go the distance to the end. We've also heard really lap 30 is when these tires really begin to take a dump. And we're about that point right now. Purple lap, though, Christopher Demerit, 23.8. He set that pretty early on, last time by 24 flat. Francis right behind him at 24.1, and Malechka also at the 24.1.
So what were you saying lap record speeds were in terms of, well, you can tell us the mile per hour speed, but we also had the timing. I think it was like a 23.2 or 23.4.
Yeah, set by Scott Dixon in a with a Toyota Power, which is no longer in the series. Set there in 2003, and we know those cars had a little bit more horsepower, and they were, I thought they might have been using the short track wings, but they were using the super speedway wings back in the day. 23.2, which is 206.214 miles an hour.
That is booking it around this place. But yeah, I think back when you had those two engine manufacturers, that was the naturally aspirated engines as well, and those cars were getting up there in the horsepower range again. In the kind of in the early IRL, the horsepowers had kind of gone down, but then they were inching up again. That was probably the same year that they were over 230 at Indianapolis once again, before they updated the engine specs once again and slowed them back down.
And also keep in mind that was still the period where they were encouraging pack racing, but this track did not generate any pack racing. It's a super speedway that races like a short oval.
A little bit like Motegi a little bit kind of races like, it's a 1.5 miler, but races a little bit like a short oval. Not quite as different ends of the track here and that whole thing.
Yeah, a little Motegi, a little Gateway. I remember when we first got the track that there was no setup at all for IndyCar until this season. I slapped on and just changed the gearing of a Chicagoland setup and made a couple changes, and it seemed to work for a little bit. But I knew that the next season there will be probably a IndyCar version of that, so I didn't put a lot of work into that setup. But yeah, you could. I mean, it's not that far off from a mile and a half. Let's put it that way. It's just the concrete surface and the flat banking is kind of what throws people off. Another tidbit is that the whole front straight itself, the front straight here at Nashville Superspeedway, is longer than the front straight at Charlotte.
That is a really odd, we were talking about that before in the broadcast, that is such a weird thing to imagine that would be actual thing, but I have to think that it's the radius of the corners in Charlotte. It's kind of a really long corners over there in Charlotte. It's very narrow too, just thinking of driving an IndyCar.
Well, and it also has the two, what I call the quad oval.
Yeah.
This is what I call tri-oval. The quad oval has those two little dog legs up front.
Yeah.
And that I think shortens it a bit for these guys. But the radius of turning the 1 and 2 a lot easier, but it's not an identical radius going into 3 and 4. So you gotta make sure your car can work at both ends of the racetracks here. You'll find that the car will want to go into 1 and 2 real easy, and then 3 and 4 not so much.
So, starting to see some passes out here. Rigon just got around Fraser for the 5th position. Looking at Dakota DeMade in P9, he's kind of stuck behind Trace Shadid at the moment. But I think Trace running that slightly higher line, he's going to be saving those tires for the long run with that slightly higher line that he's been running. And at some point, we saw Diaz-Francis have that big checkup with the rear end of the car stepping out just slightly.
Yeah.
At some point in time, you're going to run out of weight jacker.
Yeah. You got to start hitting those bars at that point.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So, and also you're kind of nuking that right rear tire. It's really heated up.
Yeah, if it's not nuked already by this point.
We had a few laps of caution, so let's say we've had 34 laps on the 34 or 35 laps on green flag on these tires.
And you were talking about 230 laps in Indianapolis when you turned up the wick this year, and that was true. Castro Neves was on the pole, 231.7 at Indy that year. Of course, that's the year that he could have gone back to back, but it ended up being Gilles de Ferran this time, and he had to suffer and finish second. Although he really shouldn't have won the year before.
There is a real loaded question we can discuss sometime.
In the chat, tell us who won the 2002 Indy 500, Castro Neves or Paul Tracy. Go ahead, give us your thoughts.
Ooh, really high from Demerit off of 4, but I'm sure he's got it under control.
Musselman's moved himself up to 4th now, and I was kind of watching his line off of 3 and 4, and he is a much more conservative line. Maybe he's kind of got the feeling for it, or what?
We were saying that I didn't think there was much of a chance of green flag stops here tonight, but we're getting into that window in the next 20 laps where it could start to happen. I don't want to jinx it. I do want to see green flag stops, but it just takes one car to messed it up, and that brings out the caution.
Alex Bates right in front of Musselman. He was getting really close to the line there, but now he's gone up high to let the leaders by. Nice of him. AJ gives him a thanks.
We do have a lapped car about 2 seconds ahead of the leader in Demerit here.
Jorge Montanez.
I believe that
is the car. Yep.
Right? And he's running about a half a second slower, so it's only a matter of time before Demerit catches him. And Demerit hasn't had to deal with any of this aero wash, this dirty air. And he's going to experience it for the first time. But then again, he's going to have the best tires for it because he's been driving around with none of that. the entire
And
race.
he's in it right now. He's 1.5 back, so he is getting all the effects of an aero push right now.
I'm just going to be on board with him as he begins to experience this.
So seeing there, fifth down the main straight, going into the turns. The RPMs peg out at the fifth at the top of the range, down the fourth, and the 3 and 4 back on the back stretch there. Going to hit fifth before the midway point. Probably drop down the fourth to help the car rotate and get down to the bottom line there in 3 and 4. Work it way back up slowly. You can bust the car loose there if you get too hard into the throttle, especially with these hot tires now.
This is where Jorge here is really hoping that caution comes out. Oh no, he's ducking into the pits, or
no? I think he was trying for the pits, and he might have been trying. He's definitely getting out of the way, that's for sure. And he yielded that position, and the leaders have gone by. Clear through Malechka.
And now he's really going to be open for that caution, I suppose. I don't know exactly.
Well, at this point, you might just want to make that stop.
Yeah. And here he's coming back. It is a really tough entry to the pits here. That, again, because this is the first time we've run this, these drivers don't have as much experience with. But he makes it in.
Well, and because it's a NASCAR world and we live in it once again, really the proper pit in here should be off of the backstretch on that pit road around 3 and 4 and in the pit road that way. Because, again, we live in a NASCAR world. We assume that NASCAR or IndyCars operate and pit like NASCARs. We're going to come directly off the banking right off of turn 4 onto the flat pit road. And sure, that's not a problem for IndyCars. None whatsoever.
Hey, it's a driver preference, right, Gary? That was, some of our leagues say something like that. So, yeah. Not too
and if I sound bitter, I am.
I've accepted my fate of our NASCAR overlords, and I just ignore it. So, yeah, we're seeing a pretty good discrepancy in some speed of cars. Okay, we've got. Okay, I thought we had a car in pit lane, but it's just Oscar, Sid, and Morera swapping positions there. So I think.
Yeah.
You literally, Morera was about a half a second slower than Sid last lap, so something kind of happened there.
Hey, a big charger here is looking also again. We got Ragon, Neben, Shatted. They have all been holding real well in the standings here. And looking at we just completed. We're on lap 51 now. With the caution, we were looking at 60 laps anyways. We're probably about 10 laps, 15 laps away from making a pit stop.
Yeah, I think our leader might have to pit in the next 10 laps. Well, he could go a little bit longer, I suppose. And in fact, he could just back it down on the whole, fuel options that he's running there at the front. But he does have Diaz Frances. There's a car between them, but he is not that far back.
There's Jeffrey Stanton and Adam Fraser with the battle there in the mid-pack, right in front of Dakota there.
Yep, I'll put that on there. Do make sure that you are on live pictures, Gary, just FYI.
Yeah.
Dakota inside of Adam Fraser. I have to imagine Adam's struggling with his tires. I'm showing Adam started P3, and he's going really high with Oscar Sid. I don't know what happened here, but Fraser certainly nursing tires, or maybe he brushed the wall or something like that.
Demerit put a lap on Hassan there, and then on exit of 4 kind of flashed him with the arrow. And that pushed all of a sudden became a snap feeling, and really disrupted the performance of Hassan's car as Demerit put him a lap down.
Robert is on the pit lane. He's blinked. He's coming in. I think, the gamble here now is that the undercut can work.
Yep. He's not wanting any yellows to pop out now, so he is making his way. This will get him to the end.
Diaz Francis also in the pit lane. That's going to put Muscleman into second.
Again, very gingerly on the way out here. The pit road actually, it's kind of it widens and gets narrow.
Our leader just missed the pits. Oh
no!
That is, there was a lapped car ahead of Demerit, and they were going in the pits too. There's something about race versus broadcasting that is not lucky to Chris Demerit out here.
Oh, now that's clearly got to be seen by AJ on his relative. Either he's coming in this time, or he might just want to run him down if he can. We'll see. They're going to 3 and 4. Let's see if Demerit.
I think Demerit's going to try to hang it out now and just see if caution comes out, because
yeah,
we're going to have to look at where Malexa is and Diaz Francis.
Yeah, let's take a look at some laps here from Malexka. Let's see, last time by, if I can find him on my sheet here.
He's going pretty quick now.
Yeah, he just did a 37.9, which was his pit lap.
Yep.
24.3.
And
24 flat.
I've got a 24 flat is what I was just about to say.
24 flat was that time by, yep.
I think the battle for the lead here is between Diaz Francis and Robert here. Assuming the caution doesn't come out. So.
Francis 23.8.
But with that said, we should mention that AJ Muscleman has taken the lead here in the cycle of pit stops, getting those, well, unfortunately, no valuable points here for leading laps in the official series. But you do get those percentages up of your overall led laps, and AJ will be getting that up there.
Much a little stream time.
Of course.
So we got McClintock said that he's pitting in that time by.
The maid still out here. He's up to B4, so he's made up about 5 spots just on this pit cycle.
And I think another missed pit road that time, I think. I'm not sure who it was.
Hullabaugh on the pit lane. Yeah, that is really tough. You don't see that often that people miss the pit lane, but with this being the first race here...
I told you it's difficult. You got to get the car woed down. You got to come off that banking, and there's a lot of stuff going on.
You're looking in that Ray Haroon invented device, the rear view mirror, hoping that that guy behind you coming around does not plow into the back of you.
Yeah, and that's the case. Even if you do declare, or you have a macro that says, "Hey," and everyone on their chat screen shows that you're pitting. Some people just are not looking at you; they're looking past you, and they'll run right into the back of you. And that'll be most unfortunate.
Yep.
Oh, Pablo Francis now has the purple lap, 23.779.
And he's got Robert right there, about a half a second back. This is the battle for the lead. Let's go on board with Robert. Got some cars coming out of pits and moving up the track in front of them. And
AJ is pitting, and he's so used to calling out his regular car number.
That's funny.
He is on pit road. Hit it good.
Yeah, they're majorly in some lap traffic now, though.
I have Nick Neben, Dakota DeMay, and Guillermo not stopped yet, so they are.
Neben just.
Ooh.
You saw that?
Yes, I did. He had a power slide like it. If you haven't seen one, short of losing it. Gets the car rode down. He's on pit road, so now that turns over the lead to Dakota DeMay if he doesn't make a turn down pit road. No,
he did not.
Dakota is still on it. Problem is now he is one of the slowest cars on the racetrack, and there's 2 cars so much faster than him right now. One about ran him over.
Yeah, he's running like a 25.4. Okay, Dakota is going to opt for the Gary, your entry to the pits that you were saying that they should be running.
I don't know how much time he was losing there.
Yeah.
It's not illegal. He could do it if he wants to.
Yeah.
He hits those cones. He's under the speed limit. Again, a very slow speed limit here. I believe it's 45 miles an hour. And he's finding his way down. It's going to have about midway down pit lane here. He'll definitely want those new Firestones and put on real quick and get the heck out of there because he was just losing time on the racetrack. I have our leader now is Joe Ritter.
It's the Brett King, Joe Ritter, Raceway's IndyCar Challenge winner, into the lead here. He's getting swallowed up by some lapped cars getting around him, though.
Up 21 spots.
He was the one that did duck into the pits with about 10 laps.
Yeah.
And now he's hitting the pit lane. He's trying to get it down.
Oh, there he goes. Good.
Yeah.
And he even sped up to hit those cones. Good job on him.
Yeah.
All around. Great job. Oh, and there's the caution.
Whoa. How is this going to work out for Zhao here? Wow. Who is involved with the... is it Morera? No, I'm seeing Morera.
I'm hearing Matt Hollenbaugh was the one that spun.
Okay, I don't see damage on his car, but we'll go back and see if we can find a... Yep. Okay, I changed my camera, but
So he comes in the 4, and the back end just kind of comes around.
Oh, he had some other issues with somebody back there.
So, okay, looking like he's got a modified All-American Racers paint job there.
There was some contact with the wall with some other cars back there as well. I'm going to see if I can identify who those cars were. It was like around Morera, maybe?
Dylan Maskowitz is also not very happy.
Yeah, Moskowitz is one that got into the wall pretty hard from Morera. Yeah, that was tough. He's the number 5 car out here, so...
Oh, he's slow. He's trying to make the turn in the pit road.
He's lucky the caution came out.
Oh, okay. So he saw the caution, and he's like, and he goes, I'm surprised that doesn't result in a penalty. Interesting. And I wonder if any of that possibly caused damage to the under tray. I don't know.
Well, where are we now here? We've got about, what are we going to be, back with 10 or 11 laps till a green flag running. Everything is really mixed up. We got Fraporti. He's going to be pitting.
Fraporti's pitting. So that's going to be Pablo, as you just said, Pablo Diaz now.
And then
pit stop and some fast laps following his pit stop is now your leader.
And Demerit is back in third, our leader that probably led the first, 60 laps of this thing before he missed the pit lane. But he kind of gets a reprieve now, and we'll be reset.
Now, I don't think we're in the window. Fraporti is going to maintain his position on the track unless he pits.
He ducked into the pits, so...
Did he duck into pits?
Yeah, he ducked into the pits.
It says I'm light right now. Who is P2? Who's the car right behind
Robert.
Pablo Diaz?
Oh, that's a lapped car of some sort.
That's a Thai song.
Oh, okay.
So, High Song, as I was saying, he is P12. He is a lap down to the leader. We are not at the point where IndyCar typically clears the queue, so to speak, and sends the lap cars to the back. Someone's burning fuel. You can hear that right now. And we'll explain that here in just a second. But what IndyCar would do is they would put all the leaders in direct contact with each other and then put the lap cars all behind them. So the leader is actually going to have a bit of a buffer, and we'll see how much of a battle Haisong wants to put on. Or I believe Haisong and Malechka are in Lionheart together. Are they not? He might just move over for his Lionheart brethren there. I don't know.
Who are we talking about? Robert and who?
Haisong.
I'm not sure about that one, whether they're on the same team.
Can't remember or not, yeah.
But
somebody, if you hear that noise on pit road right now, it sounds like a motor screaming when that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Someone's got a gear engaged, and has the clutch engaged, and they are just nailing their accelerator to the limit to try to burn off fuel. But this used to be a pretty effective tactic about a year or so ago. About beginning of this year, they changed a lot of the IndyCar model and the way it reacts. And one of the things they said is heat will impact engine performance. And when you're doing that, all you're doing is you're causing the heat of the engine to rise.
Yeah, I'm not sure who it exactly was that was doing that. But I think we're going to have a good... I think we're going to restart with too many laps to get the lap cars out of the way that you were talking about, Gary. But I think we're going to be in for a show here. And these top 3 fast cars have kind of been mixed up a little bit between Demerit and Malexa and Diaz-Francis.
And we're going to be just on the outside of 10 laps to go. These guys, for the most part, are going to have fresh tires. So turn the wick up, sit back, relax, watch them go. This is going to be interesting here.
I think pace car lights are probably going out this time. So I guess this is a good moment. We got one more lap before we take it to the green. That we'll be back here right next week for another episode of the Monday Night Indy Fixed. Where are we at next week? Phoenix, is that Phoenix Legacy?
Legacy Phoenix. Okay. Legacy Phoenix, yes.
Legacy Phoenix, same time, same place. From Raceverse Broadcasting here of the Monday Night Indy Fixed every week for the season.
The correct version of Phoenix, not the NASCAR version of Phoenix.
Agreed. And I mean, I do like, the new Phoenix, I'm okay with it as long as the league that is running it says you can't use the apron.
Race with that stupid dog leg.
Yeah, the dog leg apron. So if a league says that, then I'm all for it. But yeah, I certainly prefer the old, the OG Phoenix, as they'd say. So Necky Racing in the lead here. Pablo Diaz-Francis taking us to green flag. Robert, we're going to see what he can do with that lap car on the way between them.
It was green flag. Didn't really worry about maintaining that position up against the wall because the draft really isn't as impactful here on the restarts. Gets a wide arc into turns 1 and 2 and set and sail down the backstretch. Malecha gets around the lap traffic, and he is now in direct contact with your leader.
That lap car didn't want to let him go that much. So I thought he was letting him go, but he came back strong. Not sure 100% who that was.
And Demerit gets around Haisong as well, so top 3 are now in direct contact. Demerit's going to look for. He got the run. He's going to go full send right on the 1.
Power
and
move
he gets the run. Wow, yeah, he is set and sail, running out of time.
Proving that you can make passes here. Sets his sights on Pablo Diaz-Francis. Already 1.2 seconds up the track, though.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that Demerit's going to be able to reel him in for a couple of reasons. Yeah. He's within the draft window, but you're not on a straightaway long enough to really utilize that draft. Pablo's got the clean air in front of him. I'm not so sure that this
Pablo's last lap was the fastest lap of the race.
23.606 that time by. And just trying to keep up Demerit 23.716. And that was his fastest lap of the race last time by. So it's not without effort.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody can do it, we know that Demerit's fast, so.
And the chat, the driver chat is lively as ever, text chat in the session. Apparently, there's cancers to the service are in this race.
Wow. So Zhao Ritter up to 10th, though. Heck of a run
Great
by Zhao.
run, Zhao.
You know, he is in the Raceverse Discord here, so we might get an interview with him.
Plus 12. Fantastic job.
AJ, too, this week.
AJ doing a great job. He's up 1 spot. Oscar Sid, we haven't really talked about him at all. He's up 7, was up 6 there just for a second. for 40s, even up 10.
He had an issue. He was in the grass off of 2, just sitting there. He had to reset. You just reset it. Sid, I'm talking about.
And he toes, so a little bit of the...
Man, there's a lot of racing back here going on.
And I'm hearing all sorts of noises out here. Here comes your leader to Moskowitz. He is not happy. He is not happy.
Very damaged. Wow. Yeah, that car does not look healthy. It looks like it's contacted the wall once again. With that said, Demerit up about, he's got about a second, so he has gapped into that lead that Diaz-Francis has. AJ's got some pressure behind him from Jeffrey Stanton, who's having a good race, up in 5th.
Oh, gets loose there off the floor.
Yeah, Stanton's going by him on the high side. And with that said, we are 2 laps to go here as Diaz.
Oh, car on the wall. I believe that was Moskowitz. We're still green. We're still green. Stand it, fellas.
Still trying to get it. So far, so good. But let's go back to our leader here. Final lap. White flag is out. 85 laps here at Nashville. And
a little redemption from last week. Got screwed by pit strategy, but this week pit strategy actually comes out and helps him.
And your winner, Francis,
using the apron,
uses the apron, wins. Demerit comes home in P2. So good run by Demerit to recover from that failed pit entry. Robert Malezka is going to be in 3rd. He'll be here, not here, but in the Lionheart race later tonight. Looks like AJ lost a couple spots there at the end. He's going to end up 6th, but we've got Jeffrey Stanton in P4, Alex Rigon P5, Joe Ritter P9. I know Jow's in here, so that's why I wanted to mention him. Purporty comes home 10th. And yeah, like you said, I think we'll have some tempers flaring in just a little bit, but I don't know if we will have anybody to interview. But heck of a race by Diaz-Francis, taking his win out here. He's going to do some donuts for us. First
he's got to be
Nashville Super
very. Yeah, he goes down as right there next to Buddy Lazier, who was the first winner here in the IndyCar Series. But very happy, and I'm sure feeling much justified from last week. And he's probably going to burn a massive hole in that concrete out there to celebrate, because I'm sure he feels a little redemption.
Yeah, really good effort. I see one of our particular drivers not interested in discussing the end of the race. You might have an idea of who that is, but we won't mention by name. We'll wait a minute here, but let's just go through the results completely, Gary.
Yeah.
So our winner, Pablo Diaz-Francis, followed by Chris Demerit in P2, Robert Malezka P3, Jeffrey Stanton, heck of a race, comes home P4, Alex Rigon P5, AJ Musselman P6. But AJ's a little bit disappointed in that, being in the top 5 for quite a bit of the race, but either way, good run by him. Trace Shadid P7. Nick Neben, P8. Joe Ritter, I think he's the biggest gainer of the race, I would assume, in P9.
Plus 13. Yep.
Adriano Fraporti, P10. Jeff Hysong, P11. Matt Mercer, P12. Dakota DeMade, P13. Christian Asan, or however you'd say that. Asan, P14. He had some issues. He was getting lapped in probably about P20, so he gained some spots there at the end. Jeffrey McClintock, P15. And rounding out our field is going to be Guillermo P16. Matt Holibo had some issues, brought out a caution, but there was a lot of action on that particular lap. He's P17. Jorge Montanes in P18. Alan Morera P19. Alex Bates P20. Dylan Moskowitz P21. Not happy from what I've heard from you, Gary. Adam Fraser P22. Oscar Sid P23. We've got Robert for the interview, though. We do have an interview, so let me quickly get this. I'm just going to do it live. Put this on the replay. And we will get him up here. You want to go ahead and pull him up here, Gary?
I'm listening to a pretty heated conversation right now on the race, but we're going to bring him up here. Let's see, he finished third, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I can bring him up here. It's not letting me do it.
It's not letting you do it? Okay, I'll bring him up here. Hey, Robert, this is Matt and Gary in the booth. Got a copy?
Yeah.
Well,
so, first time of IndyCars at Nashville. You want to come back?
Well, say that again, Gary.
I don't know if you heard me. First time with IndyCars at Nashville. Do you want to come back now?
Oh, yeah, it was surprisingly fun.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, a lot of us. It seems like we thought it'd be a one groove racetrack, not much passing, but up front, obviously it's gonna be hard to pass. But back in the pack, it sounded with the turn forward Discord there that you could race some pretty good side by side there, and the set was really fun. You had to really control the car and exit, use some brake on corner entry, and we got lap traffic there too, which really spiced things up with doing pit strategy and all that. So yeah, it was pretty fun.
On that last restart, it looks like Chris Gotcha kind of dove in there deep and took that position. Were you expecting him to make that run on you, or because I know you had you were kind of dealing with the lap traffic there of Haisong going in the one? Did he kind of take advantage of the situation?
Yeah, I told Chris before the restart that I was just going to let him by because I didn't have the pace at all. I was away all weekend at Bristol and got back, I don't know, 15 minutes before the race started. So kind of went in with 6-7 laps under my belt, and I'm very happy with the top three. I'll tell you that. Good points and good I-rating.
We're going even a shorter oval next week. How are you at Legacy Phoenix? And thoughts on the it's not much of a championship, but I know that 2 weeks in a row, 2 good finishes in a row. You can't be too bad sitting there with I-rating and safety points, right?
Yeah, it's Phoenix is, at least for me, it seems like it's one of my weaker tracks. I couldn't tell you why, because I usually prefer these shorter ovals. But I know next week it'll be a good battle with Chris, Pablo, and whoever other top guys kind of fill the field with us.
All right. Well, before we let you go, and it's a fantastic P3, feel free to shout out to any sponsors, family, or friends that might be out there listening tonight.
Yeah, thanks to Turn 4 Discord. They really helped me there, I'll tell you that. Chris Demerit, his stream. We'll see what we can do next week.
Well, for everyone else watching at home, you'll see Robert Malechka next week. Matt and I will see him in about an hour as we are going to go DW12 fixed. It's going to be a pack race at Iowa.
I've heard. This. Yeah. That's going to be it'd be pretty cool to see some Indy cars going 3-4 wide, 3 rows deep, but
not with the netcode we've been seeing.
No. Not when you're right behind that group.
Yeah, the warm-up races have been interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, I've heard that there's been it's been a caution fest.
Yeah.
Well, we usually figure it out for the real race, so we will see how that turns out here tonight.
Yeah, watch. We'll go green all the way.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'll be 5 laps down.
Same.
All right. Great finish here, Robert, and we'll see you back next week.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Later.
All right. Well, we've gone through everything. We'll be out of here with a commercial, but any last thoughts, Gary? We'll be back here tomorrow night for the Midwest Kidney Warriors California 400K in the Formula Indy Series. You'll be calling that one in the booth, but next week we'll be back for the Phoenix race here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night with the Indy cars and the Formula Indy Series at Fontana. Of course, you know how that's going to be. That's going to be a big draft fest, pack racing, and lots of excitement there. That's always a very experienced field. And then next week, we'll come right back here and we will do Legacy Phoenix, the proper Phoenix. And actually, you know what? Legacy Phoenix puts on a pretty good race. So I hope everyone that participated tonight decides to show up again next week. And everybody watching from home, I hope you choose to tune in next week. Thanks for watching, and we appreciate your time.
All right, everybody, take care. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel here. We'll be doing this every week of the Indy Fix this season, and we'll see you back here next week.
Good night.
Okay, we